Okay, I'm just waiting for this to work. I'm just testing this, making sure that this is ready. Give me one moment. I just want to test if the sound is all good. Cool. So that sound is working. Let's just test this one other thing before we continue.
Hi everyone, I hope you're all...
So let's see if that makes sound.
Oh well. So
let's see if that makes sound.
Oh well. So
perfect. Perfect. We're all good to go. So basically I was watching Sky News because I was doing a video, and I stumbled upon this lovely lady who believes that all millennials should become conservatives. So I figured I would review this or watch this publicly. This is called Tradwives vs. Bimbos.
Hi everyone, I hope you're all well. So, Tradwives are back in vogue in the culture war, and I, for one, could not be more thrilled. Why, you ask? Well, one, Tradwives are awesome, and two, the wokies are freaking out about it, especially in the...
So she seems to like Tradwives. I mean, she's kind of got the aesthetic, so I can see why. She's actually quite pretty. Like, I feel like that, that foundation base is too matte for somebody of our age, because like she's probably a similar age to me. I feel like that it's more flattering for our skin when we're in our 30s to have like a more dewy look. But like, you do you, girl. You look fantastic.
The media. Over the last few weeks, headlines such as "Save us from this spectacularly silly hashtag Tradwife trend." Tradwives promote a lifestyle that evokes the 1950s, but their nostalgia is not without controversy, and TikTok's viral Tradwife trend accused of romanticizing an era where sexism and racism ruled.
I mean, I don't feel like it... I feel like it's more about, like, the fashion than anything, and, like, cooking and all that. It's not necessarily, like, It's not the same as what they're saying here. I think that Tradwives are sort of akin to, say, lifestyle elitas and all of that.
Have been popping up, with all the usual suspects hopping mad that women could somehow find happiness and fulfillment through avenues other than being a perpetually angry, insecure, work-obsessed, capitalist-hating, man-eschewing, progressive feminist. Anyway,
I'm just having a look at the comments quickly. So, going to Google what tradwives are. Hi! A tradwife in recent Western culture typically denotes a woman who believes in traditional sex roles and a traditional marriage. I would argue that it is more for the fashion and the Holmesley kind of thing. Although people who like the idea of traditional marriage, if their partners are consenting to that, then that's perfectly fine. I don't have an issue with that. I feel like that's a decision between a partner and a partner.
Tradwives last made a big splash around the start of 2020 when British tradwife Elena Kate Petite, who runs a destination website and community for those interested in...
Like, look at her! Come on, you can't say that that's not a cute aesthetic.
Traditional living, called the Darling Academy, made a big splash in the British media. This, as well as other outlets focusing on the American tradwife trend, made the term fairly mainstream for a while. Then COVID hit, of course, and the media forgot about everything in favour of bootlicking for their various authoritarian government bodies, but that is, in fact, another story. Anyway, in 2022, the tradwife trend started gaining a bit of steam again, aided, interestingly enough, by TikTok, as a new generation, Generation Z, aka the
As
Zoomers,
TikTok
started
does.
to adopt the aesthetic and lifestyle. Fast forward to 2023, and hashtag Tradwife has been viewed over 129 million times on TikTok as women in their 20s post about their lives as, or...
I would argue that that's not a significant number. I mean, a lot of my posts on TikTok have heaps of views, and that's because TikTok just seems to have a huge viewer cycling system. It seems like that videos are pushed, and I don't think that that is anything to do with, like, I feel like that you can't rely on TikTok numbers because it's not the same as, like, say you would look at Instagram or YouTube or whatnot. Their algorithm is very different.
aspiration to be Tradwives. But before I go any further, I should really explain what a tradwife is. A tradwife, short for traditional wife, is a woman who embodies the traditional female gender role of the homemaker and nurturer if she has children, while her husband embodies the traditional male role of...
I mean, yes, but no. I would argue that it's more of an aesthetic temporary... Like, most people won't actually live the tradwife life. I would say that, like, some people would, but I would say it's akin to people who dress in Lolita fashion, where some of them will go to meets and greets and have tea parties and dress in pretty dresses and all that. And then, like, some people will wear it every day and try and live the lifestyle, but I wouldn't necessarily say that everybody who dresses in the tradwife aesthetic and posts Instagram posts and all that actually follows those to a key. I'm just saying.
Being the hunter-gatherer. That is, the wife does not have a paying job outside of the home and instead dedicates her time to running the household while her husband cares for her by taking on the breadwinning duties so that she can create a beautiful, comfortable home for them both. Now, while this might sound like your typical stay-at-home wife/mother arrangement, tradwifery embodies a particular 1950s aesthetic. So,
I mean, like, you could even argue that some people wear rockabilly as a fashion and all that, which is related to that aesthetic as well.
Rather than leggings and activewear to cook and clean in, tradwives do their hair and makeup each morning and put on pretty vintage-style dresses, which makes them feel good and also appeals to their husbands upon their return home from a long day of work. Also, tradwifery often has a Christian element attached to it, which is what feminists seem to have the most trouble with, namely...
Like, I don't know about that one. I feel like that a lot of people put their Christianity or paganism or Catholicism or whatever isms, they put it in their media, but I wouldn't argue that the fashion is Christian heavily, because I've seen a lot of pagan-y pages that also post tradwife stuff. You see a lot of people posting, like, crystals and incense and all that, and then next thing you've got a teapot with tradwife stuff. So it's like, you know.
The idea that wives should submit to their husbands. The other two big problems that feminists seem to have with tradwives is the perception that these tradwives are somehow insisting that all women should live like them in order to be proper women, and also that apparently tradwives are actually connected to the far right and white supremacists and are therefore just a gateway to recruit young women into the far right. You know,
I remember seeing there was a video on somebody being a tradwife who she was black. I do remember, I think it was Brittany Venti posting it, but there was a controversy where this tradwife girl came out and was like, I'm black and I still like this fashion and aesthetic. And people were saying she was, like, whitewashed or something. I can't remember exactly all the details, but it was just really, really unfortunate.
Oh, everything I don't like is racist thing that the left loves to do whenever they don't like something and can't be bothered to explain why or to even have any kind of rational debate about the issue.
But, like, the same goes for the other side, because they put, like, a blanket statement that, like, the left are social justice warriors. Like it goes two ways.
Now, the piece of media that I feel explains these three gripes is a video from Novara Media, an uber-progressive UK-based media outlet, and the video is presented by journalist and activist Ash Sarkar. Now, before I show you this video, you should know that Ash Sarkar is, in fact, a communist, which to her eternal shame, she has publicly admitted.
Okay.
I'm literally a communist.
Now, whether somebody who ascribes to an ideology that not only killed about 100 million people in the 20th century, but has failed literally every time it has been tried, should be taken seriously, I don't know. Either way, she's made this—
I mean, like, I feel like saying that puts an emotional response on, like, she wants the viewers to view this girl in a specific way, rather than us hearing what this girl has to say that she's using as a clip.
this video about Tradwives, so
she wants us to
watch.
have a specific
But the Tradwife trend isn't just a way to talk about the experience of being a woman and doing domestic labour. It's saying that being a woman or expressing your femininity most fully means doing all the domestic labour. Men and women are meant to have...
I think these girls are just making content to become popular. I don't think that most people are actually like, I want to clean all the time. Like, realistically speaking, people jump onto these bandwagons and they like make these things. It's like recently there's been that like meme where it's like, you make me do so much labor, you know. I've got a bit of a cold, by the way, so my voice sounds funny. But you know, like there's like that meme that's going around, I guess, where the girls are like acting like the abused daughter or the abused wife or whatnot. And it's like, it's very, very interesting that
rigidly distinct roles in the home, in their relationships, and crucially, in economic activity. So this isn't just about personal choice or individual preferences, it's advancing a right-wing political ideology and dressing it up as a lifestyle.
I wouldn't say it's right-wing. Like, those teapots, like, those little pots are cute. I would own those. But, like, I wouldn't say that it's that. I would say that this is kind of like cottagecore in a way.
Why is this important? 3 things. These women are often really young, in their 20s, and they're preaching the values of submitting to a husband to an audience of other young women.
Yeah, but it's all like playing pretend. Like, I don't think these people realize that this is all playing pretend. Both sides amplify seemingly minuscule things that perhaps the vast majority don't have an opinion about or think is an issue, and yes, for the purpose of simply sparking controversy to make content. 100%! Like, these people are doing this to make content. It's not... I wouldn't think that it's anything deeper, and when the new fad comes, they'll jump on that too.
Badwife trend doesn't exist in isolation. It's linked to deeply regressive political and social movements such as Christian and white nationalism and anti-feminism.
Wait. Christian? Wait, like... Okay. I don't think it's about Christianity at all. I think that some people are Christian and they'll bring it into it, but it's not about that. It's about dressing pretty and making pretty food, having pretty little decorations, like, and it's about a certain aesthetic.
Feminism is an ideology which cannot be defended by feminists.
It's part of a
I hate his voice so much. Freaking Andrew Tate. His voice is grating, but like, so let's go back to what he said.
And anti-feminism.
Feminism is an ideology which cannot be defended by feminists.
It's part of...
I mean, I feel like that feminism is an ideology that is outdated because it is claiming things that are not true, and falsifying things for its own agenda. I think that in certain places, women like need to have equality. In other places, women have more rights. In other places, men have more rights. Sure, but the thing is that I think that with the feminism thing there, like, I wouldn't I wouldn't think that this is really feminism. I would think that this is just a fun little social media platform thing for these bored girls to do.
Of a wider shift of young people being dissatisfied with neoliberalism and wanting social change.
Okay, as the left likes to say, let's unpack this.
Neoliberalism.
First, Ash says that Tradwives believe fully exercising your femininity is doing all the domestic labour and that they're advancing a far right-wing political ideology. This insinuates that Tradwives are trying to effectively recruit more Tradwives and foist their lifestyle on all women.
I don't think that that's the case at all, by the way. I think that they're trying to like not force their lifestyle on women, but share their content, if that makes sense. I don't see any Tradwives being like the Lolita community, where the Lolita community is like, your shoes do not match your bag and your headpiece, so you're an eater. Like, I don't see that kind of bullying. That I'm not really invested in it, but I don't see that kind of bullying that happens with the Lolita community in the Tradwife community.
Now, aside from the staggering hypocrisy of this statement, given the fact left-wing feminists have been foisting their lifestyle and ideology onto other women for, decades now, and then horribly abusing women who say, no, thanks, I actually don't agree with you, that's simply not what Tradwives are all about. Let's hear from Esty Williams on the subject.
If you are not familiar with the term tradwife, it is a woman who chooses to live a more traditional life with ultra-traditional gender roles. So the man goes outside the house, works, provides for the family. The woman stays home, and she's the homemaker. She takes care of the home and the children if there are any.
I mean, like, that's... I feel like that she's being very presentable with her explanation there.
Conception about the tradwife movement. It's not really a movement. Nobody's pushing it. People are typically just living it and maybe showcasing their lifestyle like me. And we believe our place, specifically us as individuals, believe our purpose is to be homemakers. It doesn't mean that we are trying to take away what women fought for. There are a lot of people trying to make this a sinister thing or put some other darker meaning behind the term tradwife. Nobody is doing that. No tradwife TikTokers are saying every woman's place is in their home. We as individuals...
Yeah, like as I was saying before, I have not heard a single person say that. Like, I cannot think of an example, and I watch TikTok all the time.
They're just choosing to be homemakers. That's all.
The current Tradwife queen, ladies and gentlemen, and isn't she fabulous?
She is. She's gorgeous.
The second hang-up about Tradwives that leftists like Ash and others have is the concept of them submitting to their husbands. Critics seem to have it in their heads that by submitting, these women are subjugating themselves. This is consistent with the fact that despite their efforts to disguise it, feminists, from my observation, generally conflate cleaning and taking care of kids with subservience. Gosh, it's good to know what feminists must think of cleaners and childcare workers, am I right? Anyway, what the left is...
But that's not the same. Like, I don't know why you would chuck that comment in there.
Missing here is what submitting means in the tradwife context. Instead of submitting as in subjugating yourself, it's based on the concept of Christian complementarianism. That is, the wife submits to the husband by taking care of the household, and he in turn serves and submits to her by working and thus providing for the household.
But that's not a Christian only thing. Like if that's where they're pulling the religious side from, I'd be very confused about that because it's not a Christian-only thing at all.
Let's let Alana Kate Petit explain it. Though a traditional housewife may submit to her husband, she is not considered of lesser importance to him or allows herself to be in a position that threatens her rights. A traditional woman's place is not under a man's feet, but under his wing, by his side. A traditional housewife chooses her husband based on his ability to care for people, provide for their children, and most importantly, upon his integrity and values. Good, wholesome values. In this, she is smart in choosing a mate she can trust and give over or submit certain responsibilities to him in order for them to have a clear division of emotional, administration, and physical labor in the home.
So that's where they're getting the submit thing from. Like, that's very different from what they were implying before. they were making it sound like she is being forced. But, like, to me, this sounds like that you've got two parties. Like, in the traditional thing, the one that takes care of the home, does all the washing, does the food, does all of the nitty-gritty at home to keep the house and home a warm space. And then you've got the person who is going to work and bringing in the money that helps provide the food that's cooked, helps provide the cleaning products, helps provide, like, the stuff, like, money for the power and gas and all that. Like, it sounds like it's two consenting people who are both contributing different tasks, but they consider it equal value. And I don't think there's a problem with that. Like, and I don't know why other people are getting involved, if that makes sense.
In short, tradwives are equal and different to their husbands. It's very simple. Now, the third hang-up the left has about tradwives is that apparently they're somehow advancing a white supremacist political agenda. This is despite the fact that black tradwives, by the way, are very much a thing.
I wonder if
Anyway,
she's mentioning
from what I can gather, this notion goes back...
I wonder if she's going to mention the controversy with the girl that I was talking about.
...to a 2018 New York Times article, which uses a couple of very niche examples of so-called tradwives who have some sort of link to the alt-right. Now, first, I wouldn't actually call those women tradwives, since they are activists actually trying to advance an ideology. As Estee said, being a tradwife is an individual lifestyle choice.
Like, the tradwife movement, like, I believe came around 2020 anyway. Like,
that doesn't insist
so
others do the
these
same.
women
It's not a
were
movement or anything
separate.
sinister. Just because a couple of crackpots made some waves a few years ago doesn't mean that all tradwifery is somehow a gateway to the far right. Duh. Second, as I mentioned earlier, this is just another example of leftists calling everything they don't like racist. It is just another way of delegitimizing women who...
Like, I don't think that all the leftists are like this, and I don't think that all leftists call people racist. Like, I feel like I'm more central with my beliefs, like, probably swayed towards the left, don't get me wrong, but, like, I feel like that there are stupid things that I've seen with the left, but there's stupid things I've seen with the right as well. And, like, I've seen this woman on Sky News, and I heavily disagreed with what she was saying, which is why I found her, and because I discovered she was a YouTuber, and I was very curious.
Who don't buy into modern feminism. Oh, they've all been influenced, though, by big bad white men into being good little housewives. It's an incredibly sexist notion, but hey, that's the left for you. They are not known for their consistency. Anyway, Elena
Neither
has
is
a note
the
on that.
right. Both sides are, like, hypocrites. Like, let's be real.
A tradwife is not racist. She is inclusive. As much as she believes in the natural order to gender, so she believes in the natural and rich tapestry of life, which brings with it a variety of races, cultures, and beliefs. People matter to her, and she does not think herself superior to anyone, regardless of their title, gender, or skin color. She sees the person, not the package. She is categorically not a white supremacist. Open your eyes and you'll see proud traditional housewives of color from all over the world. Remember?
Like, there are a lot of people of color, and I have not seen anybody who is a tradwife say anything negative against any race. Like, it seems like a lot of people are putting on labels, and then this woman is blaming all the left, like it's all the left doing it, but it's not. Like, there are certainly right-wing people who have said stuff about the tradwives too.
Remember also that the leftists, including and especially really highly educated ones, tend to think anything even vaguely conservative is far-right, white nationalist, etc. Their barometer for extremism really isn't that accurate. As for the final hang-up that Ash and other leftists seem to have, that is, insisting that tradwifery is simply another Gen Z reaction to so-called neoliberalism, which is really just a leftist word for capitalism they use to try to make themselves sound smart.
I think people are giving oops, sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. I think people are giving tradwifery like too much credit, too much thought put into it, you know?
Like, honestly, I challenge Ash Sakar and anyone who uses the word neoliberalism unironically to define it without simply defining free market capitalism seriously. Anyway, sorry, but these traditionalist values have actually been around for a very long time, including...
So alternative lifestyles are embraced by society now, but the trad life is bad. I don't know, man. Exactly, like, what's wrong with it? They dress like... They just dress cute. Like, I don't see a problem with it at all. I think that a lot of people are just, like, being stupid about the whole thing. It's pretty funny, if I am honest.
In the 2000s. There have always been tradwives in their 20s. It's just now they're getting more publicity thanks to mass communication. If tradwifery is a reaction to anything, it's a reaction to fourth wave feminism, not capitalism. However, speaking of generation...
I don't think so. I think it's literally just like the new fad of girls. Like, cottagecore sort of died down, and a lot of the cottagecore girls ended up going to tradwifery. So...
Z trends that are apparently a reaction to capitalism and the modern world, the latest media reaction to tradwives got me thinking about another Gen Z trend that explicitly defines itself as a rebellion of sorts against girl boss corporate ladder climbing feminism. That is, of course,
this going to be the
bimboism, or the modern bimbo,
a movement
bimbo that gained traction on TikTok and then in the media last year. Now, you'd be forgiven for thinking that perhaps bimbos are antithetical to feminism. I mean, after all, a bimbo is a term used pejoratively to describe a woman who is attractive, usually blonde, and dumb. Second wave, and indeed third wave feminists despised the bimbo because they saw her as catering to the male gaze in order to gain male attention and approval. But apparently, in the grand left-wing tradition of reclaiming words they don't like, the bimbo archetype has been reclaimed by Gen Z feminists who tout this new ideology, bimboism. That is, a person doesn't have to be a woman, can be any gender, as they would put it, who is hyper-feminine and hyper-sexualized in their dress and demeanor, believes in radical left-wing causes, and rejects society's notion of what intelligence apparently is.
Am I a bimbo? I'm joking. Oh my gosh.
They're pro-plastic surgery, pro-body modifications, and pro-materialism, but also somehow anti-capitalism.
I don't care if people want body modifications, that's fine too. It's their body, their choice. If they want to buy pretty things, it's their money. But like, pro-materialism and anti-capitalism,
Pointedly, they embrace a dumbness as a tool to manipulate people, usually men, into caring for them in a non-reciprocal way.
Oh my gosh.
They're also anti-work as a means to make a political statement about girl boss feminism and the modern economy.
So is that sort of like the woman who I forgot her name. She was teaching young girls on how to manipulate men into getting money, and by telling them to go and something to do with her go and get money and tell them that your grandparents need rent money and instead of your parents or something, like that girl. The
very opposite of what tradwives do. They believe in reciprocal romantic relationships between men and women where each partner's labor complements the other's.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll let bimbo TikTok queen Chrissy Schlapeka explain modern bimboism properly.
Who is a bimbo? What is a bimbo? These are multiple questions that I've been getting from millennials. Who is the Gen Z bimbo?
Sorry, I'm doing a stream. Oh, good. Sorry, that was just my mom. So, this girl's pretty as well.
A bimbo isn't dumb. I mean, she kind of is, but she isn't that dumb. She's actually a radical leftist who's pro-sex work, pro-Black Lives Matter, pro-LGBTQ, pro-choice, and will always be there for her girls, gays, and theys.
Okay.
If you're homophobic, I'll castrate you.
Oh my god. Why does it, like, it's funny. Come on.
Listen, this is an inclusive organization. There's bimbos, thembos, himbos. I don't do this for the misogynistic male gaze. I do it for my gaze. And damn, my tits look good.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
about emotional intelligence at the end of the day. And remember, we always step on Trump supporters. Hey, is that a Trump supporter? Ew!
You get the picture.
It's
What struck
It's
me
funny.
about
It reminds me of that, you know, the Barbie. It was a while ago, but there was this video series where it's like, "Hi, I'm Barbie," and then like it just started getting weirder and weirder, and she was like she ended up having Dora the Explorer come steal Ken, and then she killed Dora the Explorer, and like this whole thing. It was just so funny.
the most recent leftist media furor about Tradwives was the completely contrasting reaction they had when bimbos broke the cultural mold last year. They had article after article of positive gushing about how feminist and pro-sex and awesome bimbos were. I mean, it was quite astounding, in fact.
Okay.
And just to get really specific, let's compare
It's all the
pair.
same thing,
I
though.
give you
It's all the same thing. Like, they're literally just dressing up the same things, you know?
BuzzFeed. This woman went viral for creating a bimbo manifesto, and honestly, it's a work of art. Are some of these traditional wife TikToks trolling us? I give you Vice. Bimbification is taking over. What does that mean for you?
Oh.
Are you a hyper-feminine woman? Are you really hot? Do you not care about society's elitist view on academic intelligence? Behind the rise of the online tradwife movement, trad ideology doesn't just extend to 1950s housewife videos, it also has sinister connections with right-wing extremism, experts say.
Like, they're both sort of the same thing, though. Like, I mean, like, one of them has, like, political values, you could argue. The other one doesn't. But, like, it's all, like, putting on a costume, essentially.
And last, but certainly not least, the New York Times. Meet the self-described bimbos of TikTok.
Okay.
The real housewives of white supremacy. And that juxtaposition
What?
got me thinking.
Wait. Are they claiming bimbos are white supremacists now? Like...
Could it be
Yeah,
really that the
it
modern
does.
cultural and media left would prefer Generation Z women to grind in front of their camera phones half naked while talking about how dumb and hot they are, while also sloppily espousing anti-work, anti-reciprocity word vomit while calling it female empowerment, than for them to be traditional housewives? Would the left really prefer them to do this?
Happy holidays from your favorite bimbo. Remember, keep being a family disappointment and stay warm.
She's, like, being silly, though. Like, she's trying... Like, you honestly don't believe she believes that. Like...
Seriously, guys, it's a little cold out here.
That's, like, she's putting on a voice and everything. Like, come on.
This.
Number 1, proper budgeting. I think this is so important, living on one income, because most of us traditional wives are not living like
so
the housewives
pretty.
of Beverly Hills or anything, nor would I want to. I quite enjoy this more simplistic way of living, and learning to budget is a proper life skill to learn.
I think we all know what the answer is, and that answer is, unironically, yes. I'm just waiting for the asteroid right now, aren't you? If you like
I mean, like... That was very negative. Let's
video,
just see what
please
this
remember
is.
to like, subscribe,
so this is
share,
her
leave me a
end
comment,
thing.
and if you really, really liked it, then check out the video description for my subscribe.
I mean, you can always do that for me too, like... But yeah, like, all in all, I think that there's nothing wrong with bimbos, there's nothing wrong with tradwives, as long as, like, people looking after themselves and everything's consensual and all that. Like, I feel like I agreed with some things she said, but some of them I was just like, And then, like, some of them she was obviously, like, being sarcastic, but it kind of didn't really hit. But, I mean, yeah. I guess, anyway, she's only jealous because their voices are several octaves higher. Like, the bimbo voice is so fun, though. It's like, oh my god, look at me. I'm, like, totally a bimbo. Like, it's just fun. Like, let them have fun as long as they're not ruining their lives, you know? Anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that because my mum clearly wants something, so she came in here. So I am going to find out what that is, and I will see you guys later. Yeah. Okay,